Wish I could get through to you, don't know what to do to you. Anything I say will come off as wrong and you're not alone. Something feels out of place, but you have no tell.
Hello, fellow humans. It is your crafty bookworm of a witch destiny. On this channel, I review anything that is in book form. This week, we are reviewing A Mermaid's Heart by Tamsin Ley. I only have 2 warnings for you this week. 1, this is a saucy book and not for the innocent. And there will be spoilers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, then click off this video and pick up that book. Or if you don't care and just like something to listen to in the background, well, that's your choice and you are perfectly welcome here. So kick back and relax and watch as I draw some fan art from this book. A Mermaid's Heart is about Ebby, a young mermaid who decides to save a human from a coven of mermaids, and it might be more than she bargained for. Chapter 1. Cruz, our main character, is on a party boat when he much rather be diving in the water. He finally says screw it and jumps into the water to go diving. While the rest of the people party their hearts out. There, he runs into a swarm of mermaids, all getting on him, jumping and pouncing on him in the most delicious kind of way. My only commentary or comments for this chapter is it's nice that one of our main characters is deaf. It's nice to see some disability representation for this book. And I just love mermaids, which is why I'm doing a book review on mermaids this week. Because I'm a mermaid lover. Anyway, chapter 2, we get to meet our other main character, Ebby, who is watching as the mermaids are trying to drown this guy and torture him. And she sees that he's holding up pretty well and that she might actually have a chance in saving him from drowning / unaliving. She enters into the circle in order to save him. She begins to engage with him, and the other mermaids are starting to move away because they're starting to get bored with the way that she's going down on him. And she's doing this purposely because she's hoping to bore the mermaid. But unfortunately, this plan goes south, and one of the mermaids takes him away. Chapter 3, Ebby watches as Cruz is taken to a cave with a giant octopus in it. She thinks about what she needs to do to save him. And she decides to go to her uncle. Meanwhile, Cruz wakes up and realizes that he can breathe underwater and sees that the entrance is guarded by a giant octopus. The mechanics of mermaids is actually pretty interesting in this book. I mean, deciding whether you want to be a girl or a boy, I mean, that's pretty interesting and actually pretty natural or can be found in nature. I mean, for instance, clownfish. I mean, think about the clownfish. Or the frogs. You know what? Let's all think about the frogs for a minute. The frogs. Chapter 4, Abby goes to the shoreline to meet with her uncle, who chose to be human. She asked for advice on what she could do, and her cousin runs up, who is half mermaid, half human. And her cousin is absolutely adorable. Her uncle suggests she control some fish to lure the giant octopus out of the cave. She worries she will end up like the other evil mermaids if she starts controlling sea creatures. The uncle reassures her that he is nothing like the other mermaids, who are evil and ruthless. And the author, through the uncle, points out something that I quite agree with. The uncle says a lot of mermaids blame their nature for some of their terrible things and make an excuse to do terrible things. And that can be true with humans. It's easy to say, oh, it's just in my nature, as an excuse. But, and you can't go against nature, but just because it's natural doesn't mean it's necessarily good. And it also doesn't mean you should excuse your actions. Instead, if you are aware of those actions, you should do what you can to improve and go against that nature. It's called evolving. Chapter 5, Cruz wakes up. In the cave, after a dream of an accident that he got into when he was a child, Abby shows up and offers Cruz some food. And they also have a sweet little moment. Unfortunately, Abby is not able to get him out of the cave just yet. Chapter 6, Abby sees... shoot, cat. Abby sees that mermaids capture Cruz, or sees one of the mermaids that has captured Cruz. She stops her and trades her mother's precious bracelet for another day of life for Cruz. She heads back to her supposedly late father's nest to see if there's anything she can trade to get Cruz out of the cave. Chapter 7, Abby returns. The two of them talk all night. Cruz discovers that mermaids can learn language quickly. Abby brings a cloth so Cruz can cover himself. Abby tells him about... Please get off of me. Sorry. About her plan. Chapter 8. Abby and Cruz spend the entire night talking. Oh my goodness. Yes. And decides that she needs to go find food. While Cruz is waiting, his kidnapper returns to try to play with him, but Cruz can't rise to the occasion, if you know what I mean. Which annoys his kidnapper, and Cruz's breath magic runs out. Chapter 9. Well, Abby was out she runs into the mermaid that tried to seduce Cruz, and the mermaid lets her know what's going on and wonders why Abby is desperate to save Cruz. So, I mean, he can't even get it up. I mean, come on. Why are you going after this guy? Abby quickly goes back and saves Cruz from drowning and quickly leaves to hopefully use her mother's harp to control the squid. But just as she's about to execute this plan, another mermaid shows up. Probably the kidnapper. And they strike a deal with her. He can have the human as soon as she seduces. As soon as Abby seduces him. And Abby lets Cruz know what's going on. And they begin their seduction. Chapter 10, Cruz and Abby join the Mile Below Club. I don't know if that's an actual thing, but we're just gonna roll with it. Then the two mermaids that were watching congratulate Abby. Well, Cruz escapes. Oh, also, they bonded in this experience, so now they have telepathy, and can understand each other. One of the mermaids steals Abby's harp that she was going to use, and then the other mermaid tries to go to where it might. I wish I had written down the names of the mermaid. Right where. Oh my goodness, I can't even read my frickin' notes. Where she ends up the other mermaid ends up backstabbing Abby and trapping her to a ship, handcuffing her to that ship, so that way she can learn her lesson. Chapter 11, Cruz is still in the cave, ends up fighting with the mermaid that is still in the cave, and goes looking. The one with the heart. That's who he fights. And he wins, killing her, and he takes the heart. Then he sees Abby's mantis shrimp trying to take on the octopus. The mantis shrimp ends up winning, and Cruz is able to get out of the cave. The mantis shrimp leads Cruz to Abby. On his way to her, though, the mermaid that imprisoned Abby tries to seduce Cruz. Chapter 12, Abby and Cruz are both captured. Abby tries to negotiate with her. It does not work. Octopus comes in to save the day and kills the evil mermaid. Abby manages to convince the octopus to go feed somewhere else. Chapter 13, Cruz comforts Ebby, because it was Ebby who controlled the octopus, and Cruz goes looking for a way to free Ebby from her cuff. While he's doing so, Ebby ends up having to refresh his breath spell so he does not die. Ebby is telling him to go back to the surface, but he's refusing because they have a bond. And this is actually, the two of them have quite a bit of chemistry, and I like it. And they're not arguing in a bad way. Chapter 14. They have sex and then free Ebby from her handcuff. Chapter 15. They go back to Ebby's home. Ebby explains how mermaids work a little bit more, and then they have sex. Chapter 16. They have breakfast, daydreaming about a future together. That future is shattered when another mermaid comes flouncing along, basically threatening them, so they decide to go to the surface to talk to Ebby's uncle. Chapter 17. Once at the surface, Ebby discovers that her father is alive and has chosen a new mate. And miraculously, she is able to get legs. Ebby introduces Cruz to her father, and they have a sweet little reunion. Epilogue. Ebby and Cruz enjoy life on land, and Ebby finds out that she is pregnant. But wait, there's more! Another epilogue. Cruz and Ebby go back to Ebby's mermaid nest to get some gold, or take some gold to land, and say goodbye to the mermaid nest and the possibility of a life at that nest, and spend the rest of their life on land, occasionally going back because Ebby can switch between human and mermaid. My final thoughts are that this was a cute little quick read. And it was, I would say it was the two main characters had a pretty healthy relationship. At least I hope. And what I loved about this book was you spent most of your time underwater getting to see the sights, and I just really love when mermaid books do this, where you spend most of your time underwater instead of on the surface, getting to explore a completely new world. I'd give this book a 4 out of 5. It was enjoyable and a nice, quick, easy read. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see any future videos, and leave a comment on what you would like me to review next, or discuss what we reviewed today. I hope you all have a fabulous day.